The first thing that I believe all of us should make a commitment to, and we don't have a choice, is that interpreting law, including rules, is a constitutional project. No rule or law must be interpreted beyond those boundaries. But for me, we can talk what we want to talk about. Our constitution is the best in the world. I'm not sure why we say that, right? But the most important thing for me is that the content of the constitution, if it's understood and it's applied the way it was intended, that's when achievement happens. So if we say that because we are a tribunal, and we're talking employment law, so you've got to understand and know Section 23 of the Constitution. That's important. That's the starting point, right? Before even that, all of us here, we did not fall from the tree. The country was not created out of an engineering experiment. It has a history. And that history and the values of our Constitution are contained in the preamble of our Constitution. We know the issue of dignity, issues of equality, all of those important values that underlie who we are. That's why when you look at our preamble, it says, we, the people of South Africa. That's an important, emotional, deep-suited statement. That should be our departure. Because if you read the employment law as defined now, as you see all the legislation that are under it, including the rules that are amended within the province of those principles, you cannot deviate from the values of our Constitution. We've got to be informed by that. And the driving force of that principle is that our Constitution, like in some other countries, our Constitution is a supreme Constitution. So we apply the principle of constitutionalism. That's important. Therefore, any law or conduct in this country, and what we say and what we do, must be in line with our Constitution. We must make that constitutional and value commitment because it influences our attitude, right? In addition to that, other than supremacy, the Constitution tells us how we must interpret the Constitution. That's your Section 39. And Section 39 talks about when interpreting the law, when developing common law, you must promote the values of the South African Constitution. Now we understand the commitment of knowing the values and then proceeding from that premise. It's very important. We know that our constitutional rights that are contained, including Section 23, is limited in terms of Section 36. That's very important. That's the bottom line by law of general application. But one important principle there that is important that drives this presentation is Section 34, meaning that all of us and anyone who's aggrieved must have the right to approach a tribunal for the resolution of the dispute. So whatever we do, however we interpret, whatever our attitude, it must be driven by that principle. And this is the same principle I wish, not just the courts, bargaining councils and CCMA included, that when you are confronted by a dispute, the first thing that must come to your mind, other than the values issue, is that you interpret the rules and you apply them with an intention to enhance, promote access to tribunals. You cannot interpret the rules in a manner that destroys the right. Interpret them in a manner that excludes entry to tribunal. That's what our attitude and pain should be about. Then I'm asking that this should be the foundation to what we're about to